Chosen one. This message is not loud. It doesn't rush you. And it doesn't chase crowds. It finds the ones who have already been proven. If you are here, listening to this, it's not by accident. You weren't scrolling randomly. You weren't just curious. Something in you recognized this frequency. Because few were trusted with what you carry. And this level required proof. Not potential. Not desire. Not words. Proof. You've wondered why your path felt heavier than others. Why things took longer for you. Why you were tested in ways no one around you could understand. It's because what you carry is not common. And heaven does not entrust rare power to the unproven. So take a breath. Let your shoulders relax. This message is not here to pressure you. It's here to explain you to yourself. Chosen one, not everyone is built to carry weight. Many people want calling. Many want favor. Many want visibility. But very few can carry responsibility without corruption. What you carry has the power to shift atmospheres, disrupt systems, awaken others, restore what has been broken. And that kind of assignment cannot be handed to someone who collapses under pressure, ego, or fear. So heaven watched you. Not once. Not briefly. But over years. You were observed in obscurity. Observed in disappointment. Observed when no one clapped for you. Observed when doors closed without explanation. And instead of becoming bitter, you became deeper. Instead of becoming cruel, you became more discerning. Instead of becoming loud, you became grounded. That is why you were trusted. You don't receive this level because you said you could handle it. You received it because you already did. You handled betrayal without turning vengeful. You handled delay without losing faith. You handled isolation without abandoning your integrity. Proof is not what you say under comfort. Proof is what you do under pressure. And you proved. You could be alone and not lose yourself. You could be misunderstood and still walk upright. You could be overlooked and not self-destruct. That's why certain doors refused to open early. It wasn't punishment. It was protection. What you carry would have been damaged if released before you were fortified. Chosen one, this part matters. You were tested in areas where others were given grace because you were being trained for authority, not comfort. Authority doesn't come from title. It comes from endurance. You were tested emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You had to learn how to stand without validation, discern without explanation, move without applause. And yes, it hurt. You questioned yourself. You questioned timing. You questioned why it felt like you had to earn what others received freely. But heaven wasn't comparing you to them. Heaven was preparing you for impact beyond them. Chosen one. This is where many people finally understand why their life felt different. Not harder for no reason. Not heavier by mistake. Different by design. When you are trusted with a higher measure, the signs are subtle, but unmistakable once you see them. Let me walk you through them slowly. You don't move lightly. Not because you're fearful, but because you feel consequence before action. While others jump, you pause. While others speak, you listen. While others rush decisions, something in you says, wait. Check alignment. That inner pause isn't hesitation. It's governance. You were trusted with a higher measure, so your spirit was calibrated to sense impact. How one choice echoes into the future. How one word alters atmosphere. How one compromise can cost more than it seems. This is why reckless behavior never felt natural to you. Even when you tried, it didn't sit right. You weren't built for impulse. You were built for precision. No one had to give you authority for you to feel responsibility. You felt accountable in rooms where no one expected you to. You felt the need to protect truth, energy, or direction, even when it wasn't your job. That's because higher measure isn't conferred later. It's recognized early. You've always been someone who asks, what's really going on here? What's the long-term effect? What happens if this goes unchecked? This made you feel older than your age. more serious than your peers. Sometimes even isolated. But it wasn't heaviness, it was capacity. You were trusted with more internal weight, so you could carry more external influence later. This is important. When you're trusted with a higher measure, correction doesn't always come from people. It comes from within. You felt conviction before consequence, discomfort before damage, a quiet check before a loud mistake. You didn't need public failure to adjust. You adjusted privately. That's a sign of trust. Because heaven does not micromanage those who can self-govern. You were trained to hear subtle signals. A loss of peace. A tightening in your spirit. A knowing that something is off. And when you ignored those signals, even slightly, you felt it immediately. That sensitivity is not fragility. It's refinement. You probably noticed this early. Others could take shortcuts and still succeed. Others could cut corners and still advance. Others could operate in misalignment and somehow avoid consequences. But not you. Every shortcut backfired. Every compromise exposed itself. Every attempt to bypass growth slowed you down more. And that was frustrating. But it wasn't punishment. It was protection. You were trusted with a higher measure, and shortcuts would have damaged what you were meant to carry. Your path demanded integrity because your future demands authority. You tried to live smaller. You tried to quiet the pull. You tried to choose comfort over calling. But something always pulled you back. Restlessness. Dissatisfaction. A sense that you were not where you belonged yet. That wasn't ambition. That was assignment memory. When you're trusted with a higher measure, you can't fully settle in spaces beneath your capacity. Your soul knows there's more. Not in ego, but in responsibility. So even when you rested, you didn't disconnect. Even when you paused, you were still aware. This is one of the clearest signs. You had to wait while others moved ahead. You had to mature while others advanced quickly. You had to endure preparation while others received early rewards. And you questioned it. But waiting is not delay when the assignment is heavy. Waiting is reinforcement. You were trusted with a higher measure, so your foundation had to be deeper. Speed reveals, but depth sustains. And you were built for sustainability. You don't crave spotlight. You crave rightness. You care more about alignment than applause. More about truth than popularity. More about impact than visibility. And when attention does come, you feel its weight, not its thrill. That's because higher measure comes with higher accountability. You know, intuitively, that what you do affects more than just you. So you move carefully, deliberately, cleanly. Most people are given influence first, then learn discernment through mistakes. You were given discernment first. You saw through people early. You sensed intentions quickly. You noticed patterns others ignored. This wasn't to isolate you. It was to prepare you. Because influence without discernment destroys. But discernment before influence protects. You were trusted to see before you were trusted to lead. This is key. You always knew you were different. But you never felt above. You felt set apart, not elevated. That humility is proof of trust. Because higher measure paired with pride is dangerous. Higher measure paired with humility is transformational. You were shaped to carry authority without ego, power without cruelty, leadership without dominance. That is rare. Your life hasn't been flashy. It's been consistent, refined, deep. You don't announce growth, you embody it. You don't prove strength, you demonstrate it through endurance. And people who truly see, feel something steady around you. That steadiness is not accidental. It's the evidence of a higher measure entrusted to someone who could be trusted not to misuse it. If these signs resonated deeply, not intellectually, but internally, then understand this. You were trusted long before you were revealed. Measured long before you were moved forward. Prepared long before you were positioned. And what comes next will not feel forced. It will feel right. Because higher measure does not arrive with chaos. It arrives with clarity. And you are closer than you think. You were quiet longer than you wanted to be. You held back when you could have spoken. You waited when you could have pushed. You restrained yourself when ego demanded release. That silence wasn't suppression. It was training. Anyone can speak when emotions are high. Few can remain still while power is forming. Your restraint proved maturity, discipline, inner authority. That's why when you finally speak, your words land heavier than noise ever could. Chosen one, you were not trusted with this level so you could blend in. You were trusted because you could stand apart without becoming arrogant. You don't dominate rooms. You shift them. You don't force influence. You carry it. And people feel it before you say a word. That's not learned behavior. That's entrusted presence. Let's be honest. You lost more than others. People, time, certainty, illusions. But loss refined you. You learned discernment through disappointment, wisdom through heartbreak, strength through endurance. Nothing was wasted. Everything you lost created space for what could not enter you while you were full of illusions. This is the shift. When proof is complete, preparation ends. Not suddenly, not loudly, but decisively. You'll notice doors opening without force, recognition finding you without chasing, alignment replacing struggle. And you won't need to announce it, because authority does not arrive screaming. It arrives settled. Chosen one. This is the lie that tried to exhaust you the most. The thought that whispered late at night, I should be further by now. I'm running out of time. Everyone else is ahead. But listen carefully. You were never behind. You were being verified. Verification doesn't look impressive. It looks like stillness when movement would have been easier. It looks like restraint when reaction felt justified. It looks like waiting while others celebrate milestones you secretly wanted too. From the outside, it appeared like delay. From the inside, it felt confusing, sometimes painful. But from above, it was intentional. Because what you carry requires confirmation, not just gifting. You were not measured by speed. You were measured by stability. Others were allowed to move fast because their assignment could afford correction later. Yours could not. Your calling does not survive public collapse. Your assignment does not tolerate inner fracture. Your future influence cannot be built on unhealed foundations. So heaven slowed the process. Not because you were weak, but because you were essential. While you thought nothing was happening, your responses were being noted. Your endurance was being weighed. Your heart posture was being examined. How did you treat people who couldn't advance you? How did you respond when recognition didn't come? How did you carry yourself when no one was watching? Verification happens in places where applause is absent. And you stayed clean there. That matters more than you know. There's a difference. Delay is random. Alignment is precise. You weren't being held back. You were being lined up with the right timing, the right people, the right level of maturity. If things had moved sooner, you would have arrived unaligned. And misalignment costs more than waiting ever will. So things fell apart when you were almost there. Doors closed when you felt ready. Momentum paused when you were prepared to push. That wasn't rejection. That was course correction. This is hard to accept, but hear it gently. If you had arrived earlier, you would have trusted the wrong voices, partnered with the wrong people, carried weight your inner structure wasn't finished supporting. You would have survived, but you wouldn't have thrived. And survival was never the goal. Sustainability was. So time became your ally, even when it felt like your enemy. Talent opens doors. Trust determines how long they stay open. And trust takes time. You were being trusted with influence that affects others, authority that shapes outcomes, presence that shifts environments. Those things cannot be rushed. So you were tested in silence, verified in obscurity, cleared in private. That's why when movement begins, it won't feel chaotic. It will feel authorized. Let them go first. Some paths are built for quick ascent. Yours was built for endurance. You weren't being trained to arrive fast. You were being trained to remain standing. And that takes longer. But it also takes you further. Moments don't expire when they're ordained. They wait. They wait for alignment. They wait for readiness. They wait for integrity to catch up with capacity. And now, you'll notice something shifting. Urgency is dissolving. Clarity is increasing. Peace is replacing panic. That's how you know verification is nearing completion. You don't feel frantic anymore. You feel steady. You still desire movement, but not at the cost of misalignment. You'd rather arrive whole than early, grounded than impressive, clear than fast. That is the mindset of someone who has passed verification. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are being verified for something that must endure pressure, time, and responsibility. And now that verification is nearly complete, movement will come with ease. Doors will open without strain. Recognition will feel natural, not shocking. Because what's next is not a test. It's a release. And you are ready. Chosen one. Don't rush past this moment. Let everything you've heard stop here for a second. No analysis. No comparison. No need to figure out the next step. Just receive. Take a slow breath in. And let it out gently. You've carried enough urgency for a lifetime. This moment is not asking you to do anything. It's asking you to remember. You are not who you had to be to survive. You are not the version of yourself shaped by pressure. You are not defined by how long it took. Strip all that away for a moment. What remains is someone steady, someone refined, someone trusted. You didn't become this overnight. You were formed through endurance, restraint, and quiet obedience to what felt right, even when it wasn't easy. That matters. You don't need to carry the weight of what's next tonight. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to catch up. You don't need to accelerate. What you carry doesn't activate through force. It responds to alignment. So let the pressure fall off your shoulders. Let the timeline loosen its grip. Let comparison lose its voice. You are not late. You are aligned. There is a wisdom in you that doesn't need noise to function. There is a strength in you that doesn't need to dominate to be real. There is an authority in you that doesn't need permission to exist. It has been tested. It has been verified. It has been refined. You don't need to rehearse who you are anymore. You can rest in it. Stillness no longer means stagnation. For you, stillness now means readiness. It means everything inside you is settled enough to move cleanly when the moment opens. Nothing is being withheld from you. Nothing is being delayed unnecessarily. What's meant for you is already aware of you. And it will meet you at the right intersection of timing, maturity, and peace. This next season doesn't require explanation. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to justify it. You don't need to convince anyone you're ready. Those who need to recognize you will. Those who don't were never meant to access you. Move quietly. Move honestly. Move when it feels settled, not pressured. Not gratitude for pain. Not gratitude for loss. But gratitude for growth that didn't destroy you. Gratitude that you're still here, clearer, wiser, and intact. Gratitude that your heart remained soft while your spine became strong. Gratitude that you didn't become what hurt you. That alone proves you were trusted with a higher measure. You are prepared. You are trusted. You are positioned. Not because you demanded it. Not because you rushed it. But because you honored the process when no one was watching. So receive this truth slowly. Nothing about your life has been accidental. Nothing about your timing has been wasted. Nothing about who you are is unfinished. What comes next will not feel heavy. It will feel right. Stay grounded. Stay clean in heart. Stay aligned. And when movement comes, you won't need to chase it. It will meet you. You are ready. Like this video. And you can support the channel through the link in the channel's bio. Your kindness helps us continue spreading light and love. God bless you.